So welcome everyone, I'm Hitesh Tailor, part of the HR business unit within ServiceNow, based out of London office, been with them for some 2.5 years. But my background with HR goes back way beyond when I first started as a general practitioner some 25 years ago. And I've kind of stayed with HR since then, moved over to the technology side, and I was in HCM, e-learning, learning management, talent performance, and now HR service delivery. I've got a few of my colleagues in here as well from the HR BU. I'm going to introduce Gary. Gary's going to be doing a lot of the talking this afternoon because he's actually doing the product demo. So I know most of you probably want to see that. So I'm going to skip through some slides to just kind of do a bit of positioning around what service delivery, HR service delivery means for us at ServiceNow and what it means for some of our customers. And I want to share some customer stories, but to give you kind of a real good flavor of what our customers are enjoying, I do have the pleasure of introducing you to Cara Nixon from Coca-Cola European Partners, who are on their HR transformation journey, and they've implemented phase 1 for themselves. So she'll talk about her experiences and what they're doing at Coca-Cola. So let me get through my slides first of all. So you can see there the theme of next generation employee experience has kind of been underlying a lot of the talk track that we've had within ServiceNow over the last 18 months. And it's something that we, I think, have been disrupting the marketplace with and maybe influencing the thought leadership, influencing our colleagues at companies like SuccessFactors, Workday, Oracle, and other HCM providers. And I know they've been mentioned this morning, and we can talk a little bit about that as well. But what I wanted to talk about was, what does HR service delivery mean to us and our customers right now? I did want to share one thing, because we started this session this morning talking about knowledge and Knowledge 19, and those that had, I don't know why this isn't working, let me forward that. The people that were attending that. I know there weren't too many of you in the room that had the fortunate opportunity to visit us at Knowledge. But what I was very excited about was the number of sessions that were dedicated to HR. And I've been with ServiceNow just under 3 years. This was my third Knowledge, and I've seen it grow exponentially in terms of the number of customers that are willing and offering to get on stage and share their success stories and what they've done with HR service delivery. So you can kind of see the number of speakers that we had, the content that was covered. And if you wanted to double click into this, you can get onto our website or reach out to any of us and we can share some links. A lot of great videos, customer videos, partner videos, obviously our own keynote videos, one of which you saw earlier. And there's some great content of how we're adding value to our customers that are looking at technology to solve their HR challenges, including our Better Together story with the HCM providers like SuccessFactors, Workday, and so on. So, when I start this conversation, whenever I have a conversation about HR service delivery, I always talk about what we've all seen in the last 10 to 15 years with companies like Amazon, Uber, who have changed the way in which we consume products and services outside of the workplace, right? Our kind of Saturday, Sunday lives have changed dramatically because of the way we go out and buy products and services. We typically don't talk to people. We get onto our smart devices. We might go window shopping, but then we come back and we kind of, in the luxury of our armchairs, go through an experience through an app to either order something on Amazon, order a pizza, book airline tickets, and so on. It's a very simple, intuitive experience. And I don't know if many of you know that typically in Amazon, 6 or 7 clicks from searching for what you want to transacting it and then knowing when it's going to arrive, behind the scenes on average there's 197 processes running. So there is complexity in how Amazon fulfills a consumer experience, but for the consumer there's no complexity. They hide all of that. So what we're doing at ServiceNow is we're taking out the complexity of the employee experience. We're kind of helping organizations to deal with the complexity in the background so that what the employee experience is something that's very simple to consume, easy to access, and obviously end-to-end enjoy without a lot of hassle. And Gary will be showing you some of that as we go through this. And for most of you in the audience, apart from the odd consultant that might be here or contractor, you'll all be employees, meaning you're an employer for whom you work for, and you'll all remember your day one experiences, and maybe you can even reflect on what it is to be an employee in your own organizations and the journeys that you're on. And that, you know, kind of from day one and prior to day one, when you're an applicant or a candidate waiting for that job offer, the experience that you had. And since you've been an employee, you've been on all sorts of journeys. And that's what we find within our customer base, that the employees that they have, as well as their onboarding experience, they're on various different journeys. And along the experience, they're going to hit some bumps. They're going to come to some T-junctions where they need to make a decision whether they go left or right. And employees generally have various different experiences, whether they're having babies or they're going to change address, they're getting promoted, they need to book an annual leave. These are all things that employers afford their employees. And I guess the important thing is what is the experience like for the individual when they want to access that service? And that's what we're trying to solve for. In most organizations that I talk to, it's not so easy. We know that organizations are very heavily invested in lots of different systems, not just in HR, and they have departments or centers of excellence that carry out the service. But if I'm an employee, should I be left to figure out who to go to or which system if I have a question or I want to transact something? If I have a pensions query, is it payroll or is it finance or is it HR? And in most organizations, you kind of leave it up to the employees to figure that out, and it's normally not a great experience. And at the same time, HR people at the background who kind of have a purpose in life to help their colleagues, their employees, in a kind of high-touch way, really don't or aren't able to, because a lot of their time, 60 to 70% according to HR Trends Institute, is taken up by doing low-level, repetitive, administrative tasks. And that is not what HR people looked forward to doing when they got into HR. So typically, they're buried in lots of manual, paper-based tasks where they don't really have visibility of the workload or the ability to meet SLAs and deliver a good service to the community, to the employees. So what ServiceNow does is we kind of hide that complexity that I was talking to that Amazon does, right? So we become the one place that the employees can go to ask the question or request a service or find out how do I do something. Whether it's their moving address and they know they need to tell somebody, or they're going to have a baby and the female employee needs to know about her maternity rights, the male employee needs to know about his paternity rights. It's knowing where to go to and get that information quickly and consume it in an intuitive way. And that's what we do. So we kind of become the one place to go, and then we will take them where they need to go. And if that means they have to end up with a transactional activity in Workday or SuccessFactors or Oracle, we can take them there quicker than if they try to navigate to that application directly. And we have lots of customer case studies that demonstrate the ease of doing that. So today we have something like 160 customers that use Workday. We're one of them that use ServiceNow HR as well. We have 110 SAP customers, 58 of those are SuccessFactors, and we have about 200 Oracle customers. Half of them are legacy PeopleSoft or Oracle HCM. The other half are kind of moving to Fusion. So we've got a lot of experience sitting alongside with our Better Together story with a HCM provider. It's not that we're there to replace what they do. We are a system of engagement or interaction, and they are a system of record that facilitates transactions. And for me, interaction plus transaction equals great employee experience. Without one, you kind of aren't really fulfilling that employee experience output. One of the other things I do talk about, and I don't know how many of you are kind of working in a shared service environment, is that we do, for a lot of organizations, become the system of interaction for their shared service. And the reason for that is because we can bring structure to an unstructured environment, meaning if you don't have a place for people to go to ask that question or request a service, they usually end up at tier 2, which is your high cost specialists. Gartner says that it takes, on average, $30 per case to resolve when it sits at tier 2 specialists. So a pensions query goes to your head of pensions. It's very costly for him or her to resolve that case. But if you kind of structure it and have that going to the right center of excellence, which is your HR shared service team that deals with pensions, firstly, it gets there quick and therefore it will be resolved quicker. And then it's also sitting with your low-cost generalist who has access to a knowledge base or somebody that's going to be able to resolve that. And Gartner says it costs $15 to resolve a case at tier 1. So you've halved your cost of service delivery straight away if you can bring structure to an unstructured environment. And that's what we've been doing with a lot of our customers as we've worked with them. Even better is if you can drive a tier 0 experience, which is get the employee to go to a one-stop shop like a portal, ask the question, and up pops a knowledge base, a bit like Google, and they find the answer. That's even better because now they're not taking up a human's time to resolve that. And it's not zero cost, but it's almost zero cost resolving a case at tier 0. The important thing at tier 0 is that your knowledge base is built on best practice, it's chunked into granular articles, and that it's really well meta-tagged, meaning the employee doesn't spend more than 20 to 30 seconds to find the answer. Because if they do, they're going to pick up the phone or send an email. And that's what you're trying to avoid. So tier 0, we've got case studies on our website. We have a lot of customers that will tell you that in doing that, they experience between 50 to 80% case deflection. What does that mean? That means if you're getting 1,000 cases a week in, with tier 0, you just reduced it by minimum 50%, which means the HR agents are now only dealing with 500 cases. The other 500 are being resolved by the employee themselves. In the world of shared services, the best case is no case, right? The best case is no case. So you would have heard in some of the earlier presentations a lot said about automation and robotics and chatbots. And we're no different in HR. We want to leverage the power of chatbots. And you can see when I toggle that, what happens with my case deflection amount. What we're basically doing is introducing another layer to help the employee find the answer before they get to tier 1. And we're helping a lot of customers through chatbots achieve that, right? Because this is real, this is out there now. And I think what you're going to see more and more is kind of the zero UI. You get on to, hello Alexa, how many days holiday do I have? And Alexa will reply because she's going to know who you are. She's going to get into your record. She's going to come back and tell you how many holidays. And she'll probably ask you, do you want to take time off? If she finds you've got days left. And then you'll kind of just engage through a zero UI conversation and actually book that. And that'll end up with a transaction into Workday or SuccessFactors, all automated. I'm talking out of the possible, but that's where we're headed. Okay, I'm conscious of time because I want Gary to come on. What Gary's going to do is going to drill down into our capability. And as of today, in HR Service Delivery with ServiceNow, we offer you 3 modules. Case and knowledge management, which is the ability for a back end, your HR agents, to be able to now take that query, whether it comes through phone, walk by, or email, and get it into a system and coordinate its resolution. So task the right person to resolve it, give visibility to the organization of how many cases are in play, align it to a center of excellence. So this is the pensions query, this is a payroll query, this is the maternity leave query, and so on. And giving you visibility and control of the workload that you've got. The second thing is the Employee Service Center, or it's a bit more than a HR portal, but sometimes we refer to it as a HR portal. It's the place where you want everyone to go to. And the way I see this working in a lot of customers is you land on your company intranet, and there is a tab there that says Help, or HR Direct, or Ask HR, or My HR. When they click that, it drops into ServiceNow. Now they ask the question, and we'll take them there, whether it's reading a policy document, or getting into one of the HCMs to transact, or raising a case because they want support and help. And then the last one is enterprise onboarding and transitions, or some of you in HR will know this as JML, joiners, movers, leavers. I used to call it hatching, matching, dispatching, same thing. It's automation of complex processes in a very simplified manner. And with Madrid release, it's kind of a no-code manner. It's drag and drop. It's simplified now. And the ability to spin up automated processes within hours and days rather than weeks and months is a reality now. And we've demoed this many times. There's videos online as well, so feel free to go and see that. This we kind of see now huge take-up on, because this is really driving efficiency within organizations, consistency, getting rid of human error, and the ability to leverage automation. If you have any one of those modules, you're then able to also take advantage of electronic document management, which is like an e-personnel file within the system. And it's all GDPR compliant, so you can define rules for purging, retention, legal holds, and so on. And the last one is performance analytics, just to give you that strategic view of your data rather than tactical. I'm going to stop there. There are a few more slides in here. I will share this once I finish after this event. The rest of the slides really just drill into some of our customer case studies. We do have a lot of HR customers now, over 900. In the last 2 years, we acquired one HR customer every day of the week, because we went from just under 200 to over 900 in 2 years. So you can do the maths. One new HR customer every day of the week. I quite like that statistic.